Okay, we are the first step. We are going to explain the step to elaborate on the customs entry request. We are confirmed by Adilene Carreón, Lorena Covarrubias, Juan Antonio Gómez, Elisa de los Ríos, Valerie Valtierres, and me, Dulce Ponce.
The first step to elaborate the entry request is the tariff classification of goods. It consists of assigning a numerical code created by the World Customs Organization. In Mexico, we can determine the classification with the General Import and Export Tax Law, as well as the tariff and explanatory notes. It is important to determine a correct tariff classification since it uses an international code and allows us to know what merchandise is in any part of the world, in addition to the fact that it helps to know the different tariffs and regulation to which the merchandise is subject.
Then the second step is the determination of the customs regime. This says that all goods entering or leaving the country need to go to a customs regime through an official document specifying the intended destination for said merchandise. This is established on the Article 90 of the Customs Law, and it says that this merchandise may be destined to any of the following customs regime, which are 6. And the first one is the definitive, and this can be for importation or exportation. The second one is the temporary, and this can be also for importation or exportation. And in the importation, we have 2 situations. The first one is to return abroad in the same state, and the other one for elaboration, transformation, or repair in IMEX or export. And for exportation, we have the first one to return to the country in the same state, and for elaboration, transformation, or repair. The third customs regime is the fiscal deposit. The fourth one, the transit of goods, and this can be internal or international. And the fifth, it's preparation, transformation, or repair in bonded warehouse. And the sixth is the strategic bonded warehouse.
The third step is the valuation of the merchandise. It is a procedure applied to determine the customs value of the imported goods. This is based on the real value of the merchandise, taking into account the right of a similar merchandise. The customs value is essential when determining a duty payable of the imported product.
Well, the next step is tax calculation. After we already calculate the custom value, we proceed to calculate the taxes that the merchandise will pay. First of all, we calculate the tax of import, and then we have to sum that custom value plus the import, and then we have to the port fees and the unloading and handling and the IVA. Also, if the merchandise has countervailing duties, we have to calculate them, and we have to sum this to the custom value, the IVA, and the import taxes, and that's it.
The next step is the definition of the identifiers. Identifiers are keys to alphanumeric digits. They are provided with more than 150, which are listed in the Appendix 8 of Annex 22 of the General Rules of Foreign Trade. Identifiers help to identify, between other aspects, what type of company is performing the operation, what type of goods has imported or exported, if the merchandise complied with any Mexican official standard, among others. In case of not declaring an identifier, or doing it wrongly, the importer or exporter must pay a fine which can be between 1,800 to 2,570, based on the Article 185, Fraction 2 of Customs Law.
Okay, now the last one will be have the necessary documents for the operations. So according to Article 36A of the Customs Law, Customs Record, Customs Agency, and those who want to introduce and extract goods from the national territory to provide it a customs regime must transmit in electronic or digital documents some annexes to the entry request. Some of these documents are the invoice. The invoice or that relating to the value and others that are related to the commercialization of the merchandise. And then we have the transfer document. Well, that's the one contained in the bill of lading, packaging list, guide, or other transfer documents. And then we have the non-tariff regulations. Well, that's the one that verifies compliance with the regulations and no tariff restrictions on imports. And the last one will be the certificate of origin. That's the one that determines the provenance and origin of the goods for some specific purposes. And this will be the last step, and that's it. Thank you.